Hello pals and gals, my name is GrannyAnn and you're watching GrannyAnn Creates. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a very interesting week this week. We had a thunderstorm again last night, so this morning it's very humid, very beautiful outside. There's nice sun, but it's just cooler than it has been in the last few days, so I'm very happy about that. I'm not too sure if we got very much rainfall throughout the night last night. I know that it sprinkled a little bit in the afternoon, but I don't think that it really poured down on the plants like I was hoping it would. But so far so good. We did have some high winds, so my corns are looking a little bit lopsided this morning. Over the last week, some of the changes that I've noticed, well, for one, I got a gigantic pot from my mom. She got me a pot on a really good deal on a sale that she had at her store. So I got this beautiful pot. It's a terracotta pot. It's huge and I'm so excited to use it. I was thinking maybe I could plant a tree in it or something along those lines, maybe like a lime tree, a lemon tree, a peach tree, anything that I can get going in it. And who knows, maybe I'll wait until next year for that, just because we are starting to get later into the months and I don't know whether or not it'll be worth my while to try and start something up from seed and then it dies over the winter because it wasn't strong enough or it wasn't established enough to be able to withstand the winter. My tomatoes are doing great. They are growing so fast, but on the note of that, I'm realizing now that things are getting bigger. My container is full to the rim. There is so much in there and there is very little room, so I'm wondering if we're going to actually produce off of the tomatoes at least, because they are getting bigger. And I was walking my dog yesterday and I came across another person's yard and they had 3 paint buckets with 3 individual tomato plants in them, and they had them against the wall, and those things were huge. They were about 6 feet tall each. They were very leafy, very bushy, and I was just thinking to myself, holy moly, is it actually going to be okay in mine? Because mine are so compact, and this person has it set up so individually, but they are huge and they're doing so good. And I was just looking at them and I was just thinking to myself, wow. I did not think of that. I knew they would get big, but I did not think of just the whole setup of it until now. Like, it was easier planting them when they were small and I was looking like they would have a lot of room, but now that they're getting bigger and now that I saw those tomato plants and they were flourishing and they were doing beautiful, it's just kind of like, okay, am I gonna be able to grab tomatoes? Am I going to be able to get the cucumbers behind the tomato plants because they are actually really close together? And so I've been thinking about like how I'm going to go about that. I was thinking, what if I just pulled a couple of the plants out and tried to replant them in 2 different pots, but I don't know. I'm assuming now that they've been in there with each other for a while, some of the roots probably did get crossed with each other and they're probably all bunched up in there now, but we'll see. At the same time, I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll just leave it as it is and just see and experience and see how it goes and see if I do get produce, just because the compact together, I'm sure that I could still get a few things here and there, maybe not as much as I was hoping for, but we'll see. So I'm still trying to decide on that. Now that they are getting bigger, they're starting to lean a little bit more, so I'm thinking that maybe I need to get some kind of poles or rods that I can use to put into the soil around them. And just, I was thinking I would go about it the same way that I did with my cucumber trellis and use the same construction string that I had and just get these posts and put them in 4s, like a square around each plant, and kind of just wind it all the way up so that they would have their own little just kind of trellis to grow up and they can stand straight up and they don't have to worry about falling over and all the weight of the tomatoes and everything. So we'll see. I have to go to Lowe's this weekend and get some more dowels and just see if I can do it that way. I was thinking maybe I could get the 6 feet ones again and then just cut them in half to 3 feet and then go from there. I did see another tomato plant that was pretty small. It was about, I want to say it was about 2 feet tall, and it did have tomatoes on it. I was so excited because I've been watching this tomato plant. Like, I'm such a nosy person when it comes to other people's gardening yards. Like, if I see you have plants in your yards, I can't help but stare at those plants every single time that I pass them. If I'm walking by or if I'm walking my dog, I can't help but stare and just watch the progress that you're going through too. So I was watching another one and they had tomatoes on it and it was amazing. Like, they had a nice plump tomato. So I am starting to put neem oil on my plants for my jalapeños, and those are doing a lot better. It doesn't look like there's any more bug bites taken out of them. It looks like there's still the same bug bites, and some of the leaves are still just kind of womp womp. But they aren't half as bad as they were before, and it doesn't look like there's any new bites taken out, so that makes me really happy and makes me really excited. So hopefully we'll just get good progress from thereafter. I do need to prune them. I was kind of thinking that maybe I could do like an experiment with them, and I could do half of them unpruned and half of them pruned and just see really the difference between them. You know, they'll both be in the same area, they'll both be getting the same amount of sun at the same time in the day, they'll both be getting the same water. So I was just thinking it would be interesting to see if there really was a difference, at least for me here in my zone and here where I'm located. One thing I do want to touch on, I love my reservoir. I love it to death. Makes things so much easier, but it takes up so much space. So much space, and it just isn't worth it at this time for me anymore. You know, I love being able to water and it does make things easier, but I feel like I could have done something better. One of the things I did see like on Pinterest was you could take like an L-shaped PVC pipe and you could go ahead and put it at the bottom of the bed and then put the soil on top, put your plants in and everything, and then you water it from the side and it goes under the bed completely. And that's something that I actually wanted to do, but at the time, because I wasn't going to the store and making sure that I got all the supplies I needed, I just used what I had. And during the time when everything was small, it worked out perfectly. It still felt like I didn't have enough space in my bed, but now that things are getting bigger, I'm just like, God, that was such, it's a back and forth idea for me, you know, like it was a good idea, but at the same time it has its cons. So I just wanted to touch on that really fast. Otherwise, everything else is doing great. My corns are getting bigger, and it's just funny because everything's getting bigger, so it's gonna be funny to watch like what's gonna take over the bed here in the next few weeks. My twin set B plants for my smaller cucumbers, they are starting to get bigger. They're gonna need a trellis here pretty soon, and it's pretty funny because yesterday I was thinking to myself, I have a couple more days before I actually need to worry about a trellis, and I was thinking that with these ones I would try to get them on a trellis earlier before they're too big so that they don't have to take so long to learn how to climb up them like my plants, my twin set A's have been doing. They've been trying to teach themselves how to go up it, and they're finally getting the hang of it, but you have some of the tendrils down here holding on for dear life and then others up here trying to pull themselves up, and it's just like fighting in between each other. But otherwise, I was thinking about that, and as soon as I thought that, by the end of the day, my twin set Bs were laying over on their sides because they're too tall now. They grew like an inch and a half over the day, and I was just thinking to myself, oh my goodness, shouldn't have even thought about it, you know, like I should have just noticed it and just kind of went about it. But the fact that I thought about it, like, yeah, I have a few more days, and then by the end of the day, no, you don't have a few more days, you have about a day left, and we're gonna start taking over the tomatoes again. So the poor tomatoes keep getting smashed by these cucumbers, and hopefully I can get the trellis done tomorrow afternoon when I go to Lowe's, and when I come back, hopefully like I can just do it really quick. Hopefully it's not too hot out here for me to be kind of a baby about it. So let's go ahead and get into this update for this week. Things are going great, and I'm so excited to show you where we're at. Here is that awesome pot that I was telling you about. It is huge, very huge. It's so big, so deep, and it's a nice terracotta pot. So excited to use it, and I can't wait to see what I'm gonna end up putting in there. But anyways, look at the beauties. Look at these beauties grow. They are loving it. And as you can see, my corns are lopsided. At least that one is. They got lopsided yesterday from the windstorm and the thunderstorm that we had. So this one I was trying to pull back up. But if you look down there, look at how thick these stalks are now. They're doing so good. So good. All of them. And it's crazy, like that one right there, you can see the literal roots in it. Isn't that amazing? That is so interesting. And they're so thick, they look like they're all about an inch thick now on their stalks. So that's really exciting. The leaves, again, they're still broken here and there, but those are really the ones that are in the way of my other plants that I have to work with. So the rest are doing good. They look very beautiful and they're getting taller, and I can tell people are starting to get more excited about it. I can see the looks in their eyes when they walk past and they see the corns coming over, and it's just exciting. I'm glad others are enjoying it too, so that's cool. I do think that I need to put some soil down, and I was thinking that since I would be putting soil down with the stalks on the corns, I could do the same with the tomatoes. One of the YouTubers I like to watch, the Roots and Refuge Farm. She's a beautiful YouTuber. She's a beautiful content creator, and she plants her tomatoes about 6 feet deep every year. So mine were not planted that deep whatsoever, but I was thinking maybe I could just put more soil around them since there is, oops, sorry guy. You just saw me break the leaf. Anyway, so no. But anyways, so I was thinking that I could just go ahead and plant them and put more soil around the plants and just kind of give them more soil on top so that they can keep growing up and they're not so lopsided like this guy. This would be him straight, but he's starting to come out of the bed because just the weight, I'm guessing, and I'm sure the wind too messed with him a little bit yesterday. The one behind him, see, they're just all tangled up. Look at that. Look at this. My twin set bee is trying to use this plant as his way to get up, and they're just too big now. They're way too big. Let's see if I can get him off really quick. Over here trying to take over the tomato. Oh my goodness, he really wrapped himself around there. Okay, I'm gonna have to get him off really quick. But yeah, as you can see, they were not this big yesterday. They were literally right above the bed. And look at them. Now they're all leaning over trying to use the tomato as a way to keep climbing up the keep climbing. So yeah, they're getting really big. They're doing really good. So they're ready to get onto a trellis now too. Like I said, with my twin set A, I have this A-shaped trellis that I created, and I was thinking I would just do the same for these ones since the cucumbers would be weighted a little bit more, and then I would get dowels and put 4s around each of the tomato, and you would be able to, you'll see, and I'm sure I'm gonna do it here, so you'll see what I mean next week, and don't, just pay no attention to me right now. This one right here is another tomato. It's a really small tomato. He is having a little bit of a harder time growing. I'm not too sure why. This one and that one back there, they're both having a little bit more growth stunt, but they're doing good. They're still growing, but they're not growing as fast as these two, as you can see, and that's okay. So we'll see, and I'm kind of wondering if maybe this one's having a harder time because the cucumbers are almost touching him. Speaking of them, they are getting these really yellow leaves. Both of them, they have one yellow leaf. Oh, now look at there's getting 2 or 3, but I need to look it up. It obviously is deficient in something. There's a reason why they're getting so yellow, and I'm not too sure that reason just yet. Like I said, I fertilized, so I thought that would take the problem away, but now it looks like we have another problem with the cucumbers. Otherwise, they're doing good. Look at all of those beautiful buds. These were not open yesterday. That's crazy. This one doesn't get as many flowers as this one does, but this one has been getting so many flowers, and they are getting so tall already. As you can see, look at how we don't have very much room left for them to grow up, and I think they will get all the way to the top, and I think they'll be able to hold up pretty well with this trellis. Like I said, the construction string, it's a little bit loose, but I think that they'll be able to hold out for the year. So we'll see. And then, like I said, same thing with the cucumbers. I wanted to, or the twin set bees, I wanted to do the same for them and get them onto a trellis so that they can start growing up it. And because they're so small, I think it would be more beneficial for them to be able to grow without having to be pushed up every single day by me. Over here with the cucumbers, you can see too what I'm talking about. Those tendrils, like this one is connected to this plant right here, and it's sitting right here, but then you have these tendrils up here trying to push up, so one's pulling down, one's pulling up, and I don't know if I should undo them or if I should just leave them. I'm sure that they can figure it out themselves. Either way, they're all doing good, they're flourishing, and they're doing way better than I expected them to. I wish you could see it from my view because they look way bigger than what they look like on the camera. The camera really does make a difference, but if this gives you a little bit more of a way to see, they are crossing the side of the wall now. The cucumbers are almost there. They're getting so close to being at the top of the wall, so that'll be exciting, and I can't wait to see how much more they're gonna grow. The same thing with this one. I have been a little bit lazy about the dirt. I need to put more dirt on it. As you can see, oh, this wasn't like this yesterday. Look at, see, you see that? But but they are getting a little bit tall, and I can tell that I can probably mound them with some dirt, probably all the way until this is full, but also kind of just like mounding it up. They have been doing some of this weird yellowing on their leaves. This was like this about, I want to say it was doing that maybe 2 to 3 days ago. So I noticed that there's like a little bit of yellowing on the leaves, and then the leaves do feel way different now. They are getting a lot stringier, and I'm wondering if each of these strings is its own potato. So if that is, that'd be really cool. We have a bunch of mini potatoes. Here are the succulents. They're doing good too. They did get a little bit more sun on them yesterday, so I think that they are doing their little shrivel up thing a little bit more. As you can see, they got way taller again. They're just growing so fast, so I don't know how we're gonna do it. You know, I keep trying to propagate them, and I keep getting scared because they'll start dying, and then I'll start losing everything, and then I think that we're not going to have any more succulents for the year. But like I said, these two held out. They're getting tall again, so maybe I'll be able to propagate a few petals here and there. We'll see when the time comes if that's what I want to do. I really want to learn how to do it correctly, so I'm going to have to do my research and do it the right way this time rather than just doing it half of the right way and then the other me just trying to figure out if I can do it without having to buy all the materials. So if you have any tips on propagating succulents, I would love to hear them. These guys are getting so tall so fast. So tall so fast. It's pretty amazing, you know. I wasn't expecting them to get this tall this week, but they do. They just keep growing. They all just keep growing. Like I said, we have a lot of bites here and there, but like since I started putting all of the oil and everything, we haven't seen anything new. So that's good. And that's what we want to see. This guy is just, oh my goodness. Never gonna get over him. Never gonna get over that. That is huge. Like I want to see whatever is eating this, because either they're a small rodent or they are a really big caterpillar or something. I noticed that the stems are a lot stronger than the jalapeno I had last year. Last year, that jalapeno, it feels like it was really weak in the stem, so I had to get chicken wire and I had to put it around the entire pot and keep it up that way. And also I had to take little dowels and like wire tie them to the actual stem so that they could keep growing. But these ones are doing good. Like they're getting tall, and it doesn't seem like they really need anything to hold them up. And I'm wondering if maybe it's from being out in the sun for so long every day and like getting that good sunlight that they are just able to they're able to create that strength for themselves. And if that is the case, that's really interesting to me. Like I said, you can see the damage done by this little bug. Never again. It's not happening like that ever again. We got our neem oil now and it's done. So I mentioned in my last video that I was doing cantaloupes, and I just figured I would try them because I dried out the seeds and I wanted to see if they would work correctly, and this is what we have left. I got a little bit lazy one day and I didn't water them, and 2 of them got dampened off. 2 that were coming out from the seed, they hadn't poked out, they got dampened off, so that's pretty sad. But we still have 3 in the making. I'm gonna I'm gonna plant again. I want to put them back into the little starters that I had because they're already ready and all I have to do is just pop that seed in and just let them go again. But they're interesting, you know. I'm really excited. Maybe I'll end up keeping them for myself. Maybe I'll just give them away because, you know, it's a nice thing to do. But they're doing good. This one is pretty insane. It was attached at the leaves by a seed for a really long time, and I was just going to let the seed come off itself, but it wasn't coming off, and I could see that these leaves were getting very deformed, so I just snapped it off, and now they're doing good. But it grew a 3rd little leaf so fast. All 3 of them are getting ready to do their 3rd little leaf so fast, and it's just really exciting. I wasn't expecting them to grow as fast as they did, and I'm not going to say that the other ones won't grow as fast as these ones are doing, or they're not going to not grow, but so far so good. I'm loving the growth that I'm seeing, and I really hope that we can get something going for these ones, even if it's just 1 melon, you know, or even if we just get the vine going and then we still don't produce anything. It'll be a good learning experience, and it'll be good to know for future reference. So that was just a quick overview of how the garden is going. I kind of already talked a lot about what I wanted to talk about in the intro, so it wasn't really going to be that much in the actual showing the garden. I just wanted to show you where we're at and how they're doing and the little things I see here and there. And as you can see, there's still things that I notice even as I film. Every single time I think that, like, yeah, I have everything ready, I have it all unlocked, and maybe I need to get better at checking before I actually show, because I notice things as we go through, and I'm a viewer with you. I'm just like, what? I didn't know it was doing that. Why is it doing that? So yeah, everything is going good. I'm very excited, and I can't wait to see how much more growth we're gonna get on these guys. Even if we don't produce, it's still amazing to watch, and I'm learning so much as I'm going through. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel, like this video, get signed up with notifications so that you will be posted whenever I get new content out to you guys, and you enjoy the beautiful day that we have ahead of us. It's going by so fast these days, and I hope you're all enjoying the summer, and I hope you're all enjoying your gardening season, because it's so interesting this year with everything going on and just the changes. And I don't know about you guys, but the weather keeps going back and forth. It'll be super hot, and then it'll have a thunderstorm, and then it will be windy, and then it'll be cool, and then it'll be 70s, and then just all over the place. So it's just really interesting to see how these guys are persevering through it all. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope you're enjoying it. So have a great day. Thank you so much. Be safe.